Hey Aries, welcome to your July 2022 Love and Romance reading. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. You might stumble upon this video after July. That's just fine. You're going to come across it whenever you're meant to hear the messages that are in it. Keep in mind it is a general reading. Not every single aspect is going to resonate, and that's okay. Take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my dears and my darlings, let's see what's coming up here for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Since this is a love reading, we are also including the Venus signs as well. And as always, guys, sometimes your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign might resonate more than your sun sign. And it can vary. It can change from month to month. So sometimes it's worth checking them out and seeing what resonates. First card coming up here for you all, my darlings, is the Four of Cups. Now, Four of Cups is a card that some people don't like to see, but a lot of you that watch my readings, you've heard me talk about the Four of Cups and how it reminds me of what Rumi wrote about when Rumi wrote about divine discontentment. And divine discontentment is a magical moment in which we raise the bar. We come into a new contract with the universe. Divine discontentment is that moment that you recognize and you realize that you are a child of God, you're a child of the universe, and that unconditional love is your birthright, and that happiness is your birthright, and you're looking around and you're seeing all of these people with all these blessings, and you're not jealous, you're not mad that they have it, you're happy for them, but you're like, hey, you know what? I deserve that too. I deserve more than this. And so we raise the bar and we make the statement to the universe, I deserve more than this. You can still be grateful for what you have, but at the same time realize that you deserve more. So for me, in my readings, a lot of the times Four of Cups comes up because everything that you're living, you manifested during a time of extremely limited thinking, when you didn't think more was possible, right? You may have had certain blocks at that time. You may have had mental blocks, limited thinking, maybe even low self-esteem. And so back then, your dream scenario was just basically to climb out of a ditch or climb out of a terrible situation. But you deserve more than to be out of the ditch. And so Aries, a lot of you might be looking at your love life right now thinking this is just flat out bare minimum, right? I deserve more than this. It's like to say like, oh, I can't wait to find a job. I'm giving, even though this is a love reading, I'm giving example of a job. I can't wait to find a job where I get paid on time. They're not messing around with my paycheck, and I gotta flag them down to get my paycheck. Then I gotta double check it to make sure that they didn't short me any money. And a job where my boss doesn't yell at me and make me do like shady stuff. If you're working a job and not getting paid, that's not a job. That's slavery. Okay, like that is bare minimum. Bare minimum is to have an employer that pays you what you're owed, to pay you on time, and to teach you with respect. Bare minimum, right? That is the very least an employer can do for its employees. So in a relationship, you might say you might have manifested some really bare minimum stuff, and now you're like, I'm ready for the spice, I'm ready for the seasoning, I'm ready for more than this, I'm ready for the cherry on top of the sundae, I'm ready for the extras. So Four of Cups can come up when we're not exactly wowed by what we're being offered, okay? I do feel a very specific energy for some of you Aries, and I feel for some of you, you have gone cycles and cycles and cycles with somebody where they're doing things that are very hurtful to you or very troubling to you, and you get in fights, maybe even you break up, and then they kind of like really wow you or convince you like they're going to be different this time, or they're working on things, or to feel bad for them. And you've given this person a lot of chances because maybe they've had a rough life. Maybe there's situations where you're like, okay, all right. But it's just, it doesn't take long before they start slipping back into the old behaviors. They start slipping back into the old ways unless you're constantly on top of them. And so the only way this relationship has worked is to constantly be on top of this person. Like, and then other people might think, oh wow, Aries is a really controlling partner. Oh wow, Aries is like really mean. But they don't understand. They don't see what happens behind closed doors. And they don't understand that if you're not that way, this person may be treating you that way, or, you know, walking all over you, or just doing things that just aren't okay. And I feel that this time you're done. Like, you're done. And this person might grovel, they might beg, they might plead, they might be crying, they might be sobbing. And you're just like, I have no more F's to give. I don't feel a thing. I don't feel an ounce of compassion. I don't feel an ounce of sorry. I don't feel an ounce of sympathy. I'm so tired. I'm so done. Like, there's nothing here left to feel for the situation. And whatever they're offering you, whatever they're telling you, you're like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm beyond done. I'm so done with this. And so, Aries, you just might be in this energy where like, you may have somebody wanting to work it out, or they're telling you that they're going to change, they're telling you they're going to get it together, and you're like, nope, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Okay? But there's a feeling or a sense here of like, not just discontentment, but I feel this energy of just like being emotionally exhausted. Like, I'm so overhearing this. The next card that's coming up here for Aries is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords can be truth being revealed in communication. So maybe, Aries, in the past you've been holding back, but you're not holding back anymore. Also, remember how I said that the Four of Cups sometimes comes up for me in my readings when a lot of the things you manifested during a time of limited thinking, and now you're looking at the situation like, I deserve more than this. Interestingly enough, Ace of Swords comes up for me in my readings a lot of the time to say that you're going through a crown chakra clearing, and you're clearing away limited thoughts. You're thinking in an unlimited way. You're clearing away negative thoughts about yourself. You're clearing away negative self-talk. You're seeing solutions where once you saw problems. So there's like this massive clearing happening in the crown chakra a lot of the times when the Ace of Swords comes up for me in my readings. So, Aries, you may be having a lot of epiphanies about who you are, what you want, what you deserve, what type of relationship is going to make you happy. You may be seeing yourself and love in general with entirely new eyes. Like, you're seeing it in a completely different way. And you're seeing it in a way where you're not excuse me, you're not going to be settling for less. Now, I just heard stop falling in love with your eyes, fall in love with your heart. And maybe for some of you this has been an issue. Maybe you've been a love at first sight kind of person where you see an incredibly attractive person and you get really pulled towards that person. One thing I've seen a lot among friends that I have, among clients that I've read for a long time, those that I've met in person, I've read for in person, I see this happen a lot, and I don't say anything. I don't say anything because I think it's an awkward thing to bring up. But sometimes somebody may have an unresolved issue with a parent or a sibling. It could even be an ex, but I see it a lot of the times with like somebody within the family. And I notice that every single partner they've had or are attracted to physically resembles that family member that they have something unresolved with. And it's something like I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to offend anybody, and I hope I'm not offending any of you. But there might be just a certain look, and maybe it's not about unresolved issues. There just might be a physical look that you really like, right? I know when I was in middle school, I was like obsessed with green eyes and black hair. Oh my God, green eyes, that was it. That was enough for me to just send me into an obsession that lasted, years. But whatever it might be, there might be some kind of physical thing that you find very attractive, or a physical attribute that subconsciously reminds you of somebody, and you see that and you fall in love, or you think you're in love. But maybe kind of clear what's in the head so that you can connect with the heart. I feel like a lot of Aries, you're going to be coming into a whole new approach as it comes to love life, and as it comes to the people that you find yourself attracted to, and the kind of relationship that you find yourself manifesting. You may be manifesting something entirely different from what you thought you wanted till now. The next card that's coming up here for Aries is the Four of Wands. And Four of Wands is oftentimes typecast as the marriage card. Weddings, marriage, and that could very well be the case for some of you. Some of you may be manifesting marriage, may be manifesting somebody that you're building a solid home with, a solid life with. Four of Wands can also be, for me, the kind of relationship where two people like build a circle together. And what do I mean by this? Like you find mutual friends, you do mutual things together, you share mutual interests, where maybe in the past you didn't have that experience. Maybe in the past it felt more like lovers, right? Like you came together in those romantic moments, but there wasn't much that you could do outside of that, like building a life together. So for me, sometimes the Four of Wands comes in like you're building a life with this person. You're building a life together. You're finding common interests. You're doing things together. A sense of home, a sense of family, and sometimes family is friends that make up family. Okay? Maybe some of you have been disconnected from your family life, or the family aspect of your relationship, and the things that you were chasing till now, you're realizing you're not satisfied with. They haven't given you contentment. So maybe you're turning your attention to your relationship and your family. Those of you who maybe have been married a very, very long time, you're not going anywhere, your partner's not going anywhere. This discontentment can be, and this awakening could be in terms of the things that you were prioritizing. And now you may be realizing, you know what, I need to prioritize family. I need to prioritize the home. Now, another thing about the Four of Wands can be like a sort of homecoming, okay? So some of you may be traveling back home if you don't live where you grew up, or if, there could be something like in terms of like traveling back home, or visiting a place of your childhood, those of you who are single, and you may meet a significant soulmate in that in that traveling. Okay, there may be some kind of a trip where you're going to a place to meet somebody. Four of Wands can also indicate that this is a really good time to meet people at events, parties, weddings. So if you get invited to something and you're single and you're ready to mingle, you're looking for somebody, then Four of Wands is a good is a good indication that this is a good time for you to get out there, that you will be meeting people if you put yourself in that environment, right? Sometimes we try to meet people and we go to bars or clubs, and that's not to say you can't have a relationship or even marry someone that you meet at a bar or a club. Uh, you know, the most significant relationship I ever had in my life was the first time I ever went to a club. My first time in my life going to a club. And I was with that person a very, very long time. We didn't get married. It was very karmic, but it was a relationship nonetheless. So I'm not going to say that you can't have a relationship or a long-lasting relationship with somebody you meet at a bar or a club. It doesn't even have to be karmic, but the chances are slim, right? If you're looking for stability, if you're looking for security, you most probably aren't going to find that in a bar or a club. So other places of gatherings, other places of people getting together, if you get invited to such events, it's a good idea to go. The next card that's coming up for Aries is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords can be a youthful or young air sign person. So air signs would be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. It could be their sun, their moon, their rising, their Venus that you might be dealing with or coming into a situation. But oftentimes for me, Page of Swords comes in with the energy that you're being told to speak your truth. So even those of you, like say you have that first scenario where somebody is like just groveling and begging you, it's going to be different this time, it's going to be different this time, and you're exhausted. And even though you're exhausted, Page of Swords to me says you need to speak your truth. This person needs to hear your truth. Because if you truly are done, you want to say all that's been unsaid till now, and they need to hear what you need to say so that you can walk away without any strings attached, without any cords, right? Without any baggage. You can actually walk away with a clear slate where it's not coming up years later and you're having to cut cords with this person. So speak up. In newer relationships also, speak up when things are small, before they get big, before resentments build. Page of Swords can also indicate that there might be somebody gathering information about you or creating fake accounts online. I see a lot of catfishing sometimes when the Page of Swords comes up, oftentimes by somebody that you know, okay? So like they know that you're out there, they know that you're trying to move on, and they might create fake profiles just to distract you, to waste your time, because they feel, well, if I have them caught up in this fake profile, then they're not going to move on to somebody else, they're not going to be with somebody else, right? Anything that they can do to slow you down or discourage you or try to get you back into their arms. I have seen it happen. It's happened to me. I know that it's a possible thing, so I'm just letting you know, be careful and be cautious. Those of you who are single, who are looking for a new relationship, don't get too emotionally invested with somebody online unless, you've actually met them and you know them in person and you know they're a real person. Sometimes some catfish profiles can look very convincing. So just be aware of that and be cautious of that. That might be a point here for some of you. Also, those of you who are leaving a very clingy person, be cautious what you're posting on social media, because you might want to check in with your friends and say, oh, we are at such and such restaurant right now, we're having a great time, or oh, we're miniature golfing, whatever it might be. You don't want to put anything out there where this person's going to know where you're at and they can just roll up right then and there and create drama, or watch, or take notes, or see who you're with and if it looks like you're dating anybody, or anything like that. You can post pictures, you can share about it, you can check in at those places after you've left, but don't do it while you're physically there, those of you who are dealing with a clingy person. The next card that's coming up here for you all is the King of Cups. Now, so there is a sense here of dissatisfaction and then stability. Okay? So this dissatisfaction for some of you is helping you to manifest spouse, marriage, specifically marriage. King of Cups is often seen as a husband. Four of Wands is often seen as wedding or marriage. So some of you, this discontentment, you're raising the bar to a higher level of commitment. Okay? And so maybe some of you had felt silly in the past to want that or desire that, or you gave yourself all kinds of reasons why it's never going to happen. Sometimes pages can indicate children in a reading. And so maybe some of you say, well, I'm never going to get married because I have children from a previous relationship and nobody's going to want to marry me because I have kids from a previous relationship. Guess what? Single parents get married all the time. Single fathers, single mothers, they get married all the time. That's why we have the word step parent, right? Stepmother, stepfather, because it happens. It's a reality. It's something that happens every day. Or maybe you're thinking, my kid's really difficult and nobody's going to want to deal with my kid. Whatever the situation might be, there could be a limited belief around children. There could be a limited belief that you had in the past that something you thought was wrong about you. But you're clearing away those limited thinkings or those limited thoughts. And you're raising here to a higher level of commitment. If you are married and you know without a doubt that this is it, this is the relationship, sunshine or storming, you're not going anywhere, they're not going anywhere, there could be a new resolve in the relationship, and there could be a sense of finding common goals together, finding things to do together, improving your communication, and working on establishing an emotional bond. I'm going to say this, don't get mad at me, because I said don't fall in love with your eyes. Some of you may be in a marriage that you know you're not leaving. You're not leaving, your partner's not leaving, you know this. But you may have married somebody based on physical attributes. You may have just seen this person and been like, oh my God, like you just may have been like the cartoon, like jaw to the floor, tongue rolled out, hearts shooting out of your eyes, auga, and now it's just like, and maybe you were really focused on your goals. You were maybe focused on your physical goals or your survival, financially, and things like this. And now you may be coming to a time where you have to date the person again and get to know them and find common ground, find common interests, and allow emotion to develop here. Because there may not have been much of an emotional connection here. There may have been intensity. Heck, you guys maybe really loved to party together with that Four of Wands, and now is the time of going deeper with that connection. So I feel, Aries, you're coming into a time, also those of you single who are manifesting, deeper emotional connection and higher levels of commitment. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks your moon sign or rising sign might resonate, or your Venus sign. I'm saying weeks, so I'm usually doing the weekly readings. Some months your moon, rising, or Venus may resonate more than your sun sign, so maybe you want to check those out. If you would like to schedule a private reading with me, there's a link in the description of the video that will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. Don't forget to check out the weekly forecast on this channel, where we talk about everything other than love. Also, I do a daily message and we just see whatever comes up. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you'll have a fabulous July. Hope to see you in the weeklies and dailies. Take care and be well, my dears.